Our show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, The Green Law Firm, personal injury attorney, Kaylin Parker of Magnolia Wealth Strategies, Moe's Pizza, Lance's AC and Heating, CC's Children Blocks, The Pierre Family in Lafayette, Louisiana, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB the Sports Guy. We got a big show for y'all tonight. In a little bit, the head coach of the St. Martin's Episcopal Saints, Coach Kevin Dizer, will join us. And right after him, the head coach of the Riverdale Scottish Rebels, Coach Wallace Foster III, will join us. I can't do it without my two co-hosts that you can catch on CrescentCitySports.com. We got VK Jones. What's up, VK?
What's going on, everybody? Like, tag, share, subscribe to the Hash It Out Show, all social media platforms. Log on to the hashitoutshow.com. And we definitely appreciate all the support and continue to do what you have to do and continue to just to support us. We definitely appreciate it.
And we got the one and only George Peppers. What's up, GP?
What's up, JB, VK? And want to start a little serious. I mean, obviously, if you guys have been watching the news, you know, a monster hurricane is about to impact the Tampa St. Pete area in Florida. And, you know, as veterans of what we go through here in Louisiana and New Orleans, we know. And they DJ already with his BS. Here we go. All right. Want to talk on that, Jack? I hear you, bro. I'll take my L's. But we want to extend our prayers to all the people of Tampa and all the people of Florida that are about to embark on a life-threatening storm, a life-changing storm. We hope that it doesn't have the impact that they're forecasting that it does, but if you've heeded the warnings, get out. Simple as that. So, and also just wanted to drop a little lighthearted this. The New York Mets won today, 7-2. To take a 2-1 lead in the best-of-5 series. One more to go, baby. One more to go.
Yes, indeed. As we're waiting on Coach Dizer, quickly, guys, your thoughts about the Saints game, wherever George just went. VK, your thoughts about the Saints game last night against the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, the Saints, still the offense is still non-existent and everything. And even though Derek Carr tried his best, and then on top of that, now he's hurt, possibly out for a long time. But at the same time, the defense once again did everything they could. It's just not enough offensively to get it done, especially in a low-scoring ball game. And I think now the reality is starting to set in for the Saints, and I hate to say that. So it's not looking too bright for the Saints at all. Can't stay healthy, don't have any depth, and it's starting to really taking a toll on the Saints, especially having Tampa Bay coming to town, and the Denver Broncos were really, really improved. So, man, it's going to be an interesting two games coming up in New Orleans. But at the same time, the reality is now set in that this is probably about to be a long rest of the year.
I mean, I try to tell y'all, man, y'all were living in the moment.
We we
Living in the
we
moment, the
we
first two games, y'all was so
we.
excited. I'm sitting there like, I'm gonna sit back and
I,
chill. And when I
I'm
say
not
y'all, I mean
for
everybody who talked
for.
about it.
I felt the same way as you a bit. I was excited a bit because of the fact what we seen. And my thing was, okay, how it looked good. It looked good early against Philly, and all of a sudden, key injury happened. And then all of a sudden, you realize, goodness, the Saints don't have no depth. These are the guys can't do anything, and that's not good. So they're just like, oh Lord, this is. Then all of a sudden, now more injuries, and they keep adding on. That just shows like the general management and everything else, like what you bought in, what in the world you're doing, why we're not having people that can play, that can step in, do what they got to do. It's ridiculous. So it just took, and now it's taking a toll these last couple weeks, especially last night. So it was good while it lasted, but now the realities is straight up set in, and I think the fans was excited. It's good to feel good, but then after that, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Especially what's gonna happen on Sunday. So
GP.
Huh. Must be talking about that love hate relationship with the New Orleans Saints, right?
Yeah.
Part of the most impossible fantasy football win I've ever experienced in my life. I'll tell you all about that later. But that game was predictable. It was pretty expected. New Orleans offensively looked challenged, and defensively, Kansas City, that was bereft of receivers. Um, that they don't, the injuries that they've suffered offensively. They were able to extract 26 points last night, 4 field goals. Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown. Uh, Kareem Hunt. Now Derek Carr is going to miss multiple weeks with an oblique injury. That came out today. Who starts? It's easy. If you saw Jake Hayner last night, you better hope like heck that Dennis Allen finds a brain and puts Spencer Rattler in that spot. Jake Hayner can't win. I mean, when he came in, yeah, I get it. He was called off the bench. I get it, but the game was already decided when he came in. There was no way back for New Orleans. And VK, you talk about the start, smoke and mirrors. I mean, would that be the accurate acronym to use here? Maybe we were led to believe as like, Jack and the Beanstalk. He bought a thing of beans, right? What do we buy in week after week two when they throttle Dallas? Cowboys haven't lost since, have they? Actually, no, they lost once since. They
yeah, they
lost to the
lost one time.
Ravens, and they rescued the game Sunday night against Pittsburgh. Had no business winning that game, but they did, and it's what it is. And but as far as the Saints, Tampa comes calling. They're already here in advance of the hurricane. They left last night, so they're here in New Orleans, and they're going to do their practices this week here, and the game Sunday. And it wouldn't
What's
surprise
up,
me if
Big
the Bucks
Fave?
are favored. It wouldn't surprise me if the Bucks go off favored, considering that Carr's now out 2 weeks. The disappointing performance at the end of the day last night, for me,
Make it
for
quick.
me,
Make it quick so we can get coach in here.
for me was Alvin Kamara. I thought he would have more impact on the game, and he didn't.
No, he couldn't when they went blocking for him.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
makeshift offensive line.
Yeah. All right. Hannah didn't do anything wrong. Just don't make sense for him to start. Got to see what you got for the future. And Spencer, you're not gonna see Rattler playing. I'm sorry. He's Dennis Allen's gonna start Jake Hayner. Davian, no, he's coming up at 8:15. All right, let's get right to it. Our next guest, he is the head coach of the St. Martin's Episcopal Saints, and they got a big game this upcoming Friday night against Riverside Academy. We got the one and only Coach Kevin Dizer. Coach Dizer, what's up, my man? How you doing? No, I can't hear you at all. I cannot hear you, Coach Dizer.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me? All right, he can hear us. He can't. He can't hear. He can't. We can't hear him. All right.
Yeah,
So we're gonna do. Do you have? Are you muted? I don't think he's muted. No.
you might have to log off and come back
Yeah, he
in.
might have to log off. So
Yeah,
look, log off and log back in. Let's see if that works.
because I think he's on the phone. If he's on the phone, he's definitely got to log off and go back in.
We're waiting to get, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I wonder if somebody called him while he was waiting to come in the lobby. I hope not.
Mm.
So let's get him back in here. Hopefully we can get to rolling. He heard us. We couldn't hear him. So let's see if we can get him back in here. Be patient with us, folks. Be patient. This happens sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. It happens. But just be patient. Hollywood, what's up? Be careful. What's happening? How you doing? Be careful. S9, I see you. Brazzy Brown, I see you. Zach Too Valid, what's going on?
And I tell you, after the interviews tonight, we got some little pointers we're gonna also talk about as well, besides the prep games. So
Some pointers, man.
we
I don't
the
know what you're
pointers.
talking about. Some pointers.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I really
No,
don't
no,
know.
no, 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 no. It's got to be
I
said tonight.
no, I'm serious. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm serious.
Uh,
You,
the most maybe eventful Saturday of college football we didn't had so far this year.
oh, that's what you're talking about. College
Yeah,
football.
yeah,
Yeah, we can talk about that quickly.
yeah. We
Yeah,
can talk about that
definitely,
quickly.
definitely. As we wait for Coach Dyer to come back and log back in.
Yeah, and this is a big game, and I know St. Martin's has got to really bounce back quickly. You know, after last weekend. I mean, I tell you, and we talked about it on Inside the Trenches and stuff. Inside the Trenches, talk about
Let's see.
honorable
Let's see if we can
mentions.
hear Coach Dyer right quick.
Okay,
Let's see if we can bring him back
Can
in.
y'all hear me now?
There we go.
there you
We
go.
got you, Coach. We got you.
Right. Yeah, we
Perfect.
got it figured out. Good deal.
Coach Dyer was in a football fight with this one, man. He was in a fight with this one.
Football football comes much easier than some of this technology stuff for me, so I'll say that for sure. But yes, sir, man, I appreciate y'all having me on, guys. Greatly appreciate it.
Definitely, Coach. We glad you could join us. Let's get right to it, Coach. Why did you decide to become a football coach?
Oh man, that's that's a good question off the bat. So I'll tell you this. You got to go way back to I guess my childhood, my upbringing from Sterlington, Louisiana, and just to be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of things that I was interested in. I really love sports, and obviously we all want to be players and we want to be pros, but I kind of figured that that wasn't in the cards for me once I was kind of old enough to realize that. I think I took my playing career about as far as I could take it, and what other way is it to stay involved in the game? And that was coaching. And I always felt I was a fairly smart player, knew the game pretty decent. And so I just kind of wanted to stay involved in sports. And that's the reason why I got into it early on. So I guess you could say because I couldn't be the greatest as a player, uh, I guess the next best fit was to try my hand at coaching. That's the original reason why I got into it. That's the only way I could really stay in the sports. There's never really been anything else work related that I've wanted to do. So I guess this was pretty much it for me.
Your first head coaching job was with Riverside,
Right.
but I want to talk about the opportunity of getting a second shot at being a head coach with St. Martin's.
Yeah. Coaching in general is kind of crazy. I guess with any career or any career path or just life in general, you just never really know how things are going to go. And I would have never really imagined that, I would have ended up at St. Martin's, right? But that's where it went. And, when I was leaving Riverside, I had a lot of other opportunities that I could have pursued as an assistant coach and things of that nature. But I think at the time, my family, me and my wife were having our third child at the time when I was leaving there. And I think just the kind of work-life balance is what drew me to it more than anything. And, once I got there, was a pretty good situation. And I think it was a pretty good marriage in terms of, they kind of needed some more help. And I kind of needed a place where I could manage my personal life and the coaching part of it. And it was a good opportunity. And then when Coach Inducer decided to step down and I was able to step in, I was very excited to be able to do it. And, I didn't know how it was going to go or anything like that. But I just, all I can do is be me and work as hard as I can work and see what happens. And, we've been pretty fortunate. We've had some success and, we just want to be able to keep it going.
St. Martin's Episcopal is a 2A school.
1A.
Talk 1A. I'm sorry, 1A. Excuse me. It's a 1A school. Yes, 1A
Uh-huh.
school. Talk about some of the disadvantages you have coaching a team that doesn't have a lot of depth.
Whew, it's tough. I think that in itself, depth is an issue. There's a lot of teams in 1A that struggle with that issue, but I think that's kind of what separates those final four, those final two teams from everybody else is that, they typically have more depth than everybody else. So depth in itself is a challenge. And then from a coaching standpoint, people think in general, like the less players you have, well, the shorter your practices are and how easy it must be, but it's really not. You've got to practice twice as long almost because when you're practicing offense, everybody's focal point is there. It's not like your offense is working on one end of the field and your defense is working on the other end of the field. Everybody's focal point is right there. And you've got to, when you're done with that, you've got to stop and you've got to start all over with defense. And so it's challenging and it's time consuming. Um, you know, and then just some other problems. I say problems, just other circumstances you deal with in 1A. And I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for my situation. I think for us, you know, it's difficult just fielding that team of 40, 50 kids. And then it's difficult to really be able to get in a lot of football kids with a high academic school. It's not a cheap place to go to school. So there's a lot of challenges that go along with that. But I think, what makes me a decent fit at it, I don't love all of the things that you have to deal with by no means, but what makes it okay for me is just kind of the way I was raised by my parents. Like we're no excuse people. You know what I mean? Like we weren't
Yeah.
allowed to make excuses. Whatever it is, whatever hand you dealt, you got to play it. And kind of been able to take that into my career. And here at St. Martin's, that's more prevalent than ever. Like, and our kids buy into that as well. Like we're not gonna make excuses. Whatever we've got is what we got. We're gonna make the most out of it. And just the old adage of control everything that you can control. That couldn't be more true.
This Friday night, you
Uh-huh.
coach against your old team again, Riverside.
Mm-hmm.
My first question in regards to Riverside,
Uh-huh.
when you left Riverside, the freshmen that were on that team are now seniors going into
Uh-huh.
this game. What is it like coaching against your former team, knowing there's players on that team that you used to coach?
Yeah. It's not the easiest thing, but one thing that I'm able to do as a coach, I'm able to kind of separate my emotions or my personal feelings from the task at hand. Like I hope those kids on that, any kid that I've ever coached or dealt with, I hope that they all know I love them and I'll do anything for them. I'm the same guy today as I was 4 or 5 years ago. I don't let circumstances or a name on my shirt come in between any of that. And as for the game itself, I mean, that's up to the kids to decide, right? Like they got to get out there and play. My playing days ended in 2010, my last college game, so I don't play anymore. So that's up to the kids to get out there and play and decide the game. And my job is to put St. Martin's in the best possible position to win. and that's that, you know. And those are the young men that are out there playing against each other. I don't really look at it as I'm out there playing against any of those guys. That's not even
Right.
really the situation. And so, regardless of what, like I said, regardless of any of that, any kid that I've ever coached, I just hope they all know I am who I am. Everything I've said to you, I meant it. And that's all truthful, you know. Kids at St. Martin's are going to be going one day, and that's the same message that I would want them to know. So nothing changes. And I don't really, I don't really let that get involved with my thought process going into it. You know, as soon as the game over, we're off the field. You know, it's right back to, hey, those guys need anything. You know, my number, call me, and I'll do anything I can to help you for sure.
Definitely. Before I pass it on to VK Jones, this is the third meeting between you and Riverside in less than a year.
Uh huh.
I'm not going to ask you what your game plan is, but I
Uh
will
huh.
ask you what is it that you see on film about Riverside?
Yeah. So even from a game plan standpoint, like nothing nothing changes, right? It's the same stuff. You do what you have to do to put your kids in the best position to win. Now, are we going to play an even front? Are we going to play an odd front? Are we going to be cover two, cover one? Any of that? Like I wouldn't get into any of that. But yeah, you just prepare and you put your kids in the best situation. And I don't. The first time we played them last year, and it's hindsight, right? Like it's hindsight. I don't think I did the best job of it in hindsight. But the second time we played them, um, you know, I think we had the right game plan. You know, so what I see from Riverside, I think the key to it, I guess, you would just kind of start on both sides of the ball. I think them offensively, well, Dedrick Last is the key to it, right? Like he's the guy that makes them go. They've got a lot of other playmakers, and Kenrick Johnson, I believe Nehemiah Phillips is his name at wide receiver. Uh, and then they'll even bring Martrell Henry in to run the ball some. So, you know, they've got a lot of playmakers on offense, but Dedrick Last is the key to the whole thing. And you've got to find a way to slow him down. Like he's a really good high school football player, no doubt. So he's going to make plays, but you've just got to find a way to try to limit that as best as you can on that side. And I think the quarterback does a really right. He to all of his playmakers and things like that. So you just kind of got to limit Dedrick and try to keep them off schedule a little bit. So that's the challenge for us defensively, you know, to their offense. And then when you flip it around to the other side of the football, um, it's no secret and Harlem's been effective, but they've done a really good job of limiting him to where he's not having the 60-yard plays and things like that. So we've just got to find a way to get him loose. We missed our quarterback the second half of last week. We're hoping to have him back this week. Uh, I'm hopeful that he will play. I won't know for sure. But if we get him back, you know, he adds a different element with his feet. But you know, we've got to try to have a balanced attack offensively. We've just got to try to get Harlem into space, and that's the bottom line. The unfortunate part is something that you alluded to earlier. The majority of our guys are going to be playing two ways, and we can't duplicate them, right? Like we can't. They're human beings. It's not the video game where you can go turn fatigue off. Like it's a real thing, and we can't make excuses. We've got to try to manage it the best way we can and push through it the best way that we can. Yeah.
VK.
Coach Dizer, man, how are you? It's good to have you back, have you on the show and everything. And
Oh, yes,
you
sir.
know,
Doing great. Thank you all for having me on.
absolutely, man. Yeah, I know you mentioned Ashton Oliver. I know he's a real key and everything else. A little bit to your office besides Harlem and everything else. But looking at this matchup for the third time in about a year and a half, the fact that
Hmm.
we're going to have two great running backs going at it again, and I mean, we had two showdowns that both backs really showed out. How what you think about the matchup between them two for the third time once again?
Yeah, that's kind of where the coach and the fan in me separate at that point. Never once have I looked at it as, a running back versus a running back. Like I just don't view it that way. Like it's Riverside versus St. Martin's. And obviously, Dedrick's great, Harlem's great, but I just don't think that's necessarily fair to either one. And from a coaching standpoint, fans, as long as you're paying $10 to get in the game or you're doing whatever on your streams, fans can do whatever. But I just don't think that's ever really been a fair assessment. You know what I'm saying? Like if Harlem goes out there and hypothetically runs for 250 yards and we lose the game, well, that's no good. Like that's not what we're looking for. That's great, but that ain't what we want. And vice versa, if Dedrick goes for 350 and we beat him, I'll be the happiest person ever. That'll be the greatest 350 I've ever given up. So I just don't look at it from a head-to-head standpoint. I just that ain't fair to anybody or either kid. I just don't. And then especially with Harlem, I think he gets so much of people trying to bring him down and people trying to say what he is and what he ain't and things of that nature. So I would be the last person that needs to be comparing anybody to anything. I know Dedrick personally. Dedrick's a great young man. Dedrick was always Dedrick he was accountable. He's going to be in class. He's going to do his homework. He's always a hard worker, great young man. And, Harlem's got those same attributes as well. So I don't want to feed into that. You know what I mean? Those young men go out there, play hard, come out healthy, go compete with your team. Now, from a fan perspective, yeah, you're going to get the cost of admission with those two guys. There ain't no doubt about it. Yes, sir.
That is interesting right there, Coach. Taking a look, that both teams coming off two tough losses.
Mhm.
You Riverside losing to Ascension Catholic. Was no, not Ascension. I'm not Vermilion Catholic last week,
Vermilion Catholic.
and then y'all then St. Martin's they lose to Pope John Paul.
Uh-huh.
What do you think this week the approach, especially with your team, and then especially with both teams coming off of a tough loss in a big district game?
Yeah, absolutely. So with our team, I think we come in on Saturday mornings after we play, and when I came in Saturday, I think our team they thought that I was going to, you know, be going crazy and fussing and this and that. And I think the message for our kids is that we want to play in competitive football games. We want to learn how to win competitive football games. I don't think we played terrible at Pope John Paul. Obviously, we didn't play good enough to win, but I don't think we played terrible. I think we had a lot of stuff work against us, and we're not going to use that as an excuse. That's sports. That's what life. That's what sports teaches you, right? And so I just wanted our kids to understand when you play good people, you can get beat, and that's a part of it. And that's not an indication that you're a bad team or we're doing stuff wrong and all that. No, we're going to stay the course and get better. We're going to handle our wins and losses the same way. We did some good stuff and we did some bad stuff, and we got to keep building on the good and we got to fix the bad. And that's just kind of what it is. So with our kids, do I think there's an extra sense of urgency? Do I think we got slapped to reality? Absolutely. And that's what I wanted our kids to understand. Had we won that game 29-28, I still hope you realize at that point, like we're beatable. We're not immortal. We're not, you know, we just ain't this great elite team that nobody can touch. No, we've got to play with an edge and we've got to continue to be the hunter and realize like we just got to keep that underdog approach and that underdog mentality. So that's what we're going to carry into the Riverside game is, we've got to be hungry. We've got to have the mentality of the hunter, and that's what we want to keep. And as for Riverside and Vermilion, obviously I'm not in either locker room, but that's as good as it gets on as good as it gets. And Vermilion got the best of them that night. And what our guys need to understand is that Riverside is going to be as hungry and determined
Yeah.
as ever to get a win. So we better be ready to strap it on and we better be ready to play. And reserve is always a hostile place to go in and play. and it's going to. I would expect it to be ramped up times 10 this week.
Very much agreed. Gotta ask you. I know the Pope John Paul loss was tough for you guys and everything else, but I have to ask you about this team. We've been talking about them a little bit on the Hash It Out show and everything else, and you seeing them for yourself. How really good is this Pope John Paul the second team?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me that, and I'm more than happy to talk about it because this is what I was warning our kids against all week is, the kids and they just kind of think the name on the jersey and it's like, oh, we're going to play Pope John Paul. We've handled them the past 2 years, and I'm like, no, this team's good. So Pope John Paul is a really good football team, but what makes them scary is the ball control, and that's what got us beat. You look at the score and you probably think tight defensive battle, and that really wasn't the case. We had a lot of success offensively. I just think we got a total of five, maybe six possessions. We got two possessions in the second half, total two possessions, and so they're a ball control team. So how does Hollenberry have 11 carries in a loss? Well, we didn't have the football, and so they're dangerous from that aspect. I think teams that are better up front, got some bigger dudes and more depth up front. I think could possibly give Pope John Paul some trouble, but that's a really good football team. And nobody, people can say what they want to. Nobody wants to play against the wing team. I mean, we prepared for 2 weeks against that, and it just ain't the same in practice versus going out there and playing. And those guys just 4 yarded us to death all night long, and it was tough. It was tough. And so I think Pope John Paul is a really good football team, and I think they're going to make some noise in the playoffs, and they're a lot more talented than people realize. Their tight end, I'm not sure his name, but the tight end, I think he's potentially a college football player. He's about just guesstimating 6'4", 220, can really run, catch the football. They've got 4 or 5 different guys that can carry the football. The quarterback's really athletic. Um, and then they've got a couple of guys on the defensive side as well. I think Pope John Paul, they play a lot of guys two ways, so that could catch up to you. But when you ball control the way they are, that makes it easier to play guys two ways. Whereas us, Hollenberry might go 80 on his first carry and you're right back out there. So I think Pope John Paul is a legitimately good football team. And what happened Friday doesn't necessarily surprise me. I knew what we were up against, and I knew if we turned the football over, we were going to have problems because they're just not going to give you a lot of opportunities.
How's been so far this season with your senior class? Your senior leaders have been stepping up more than anything else, especially not just Harlem, but a lot of your senior leaders who've been together for 4, maybe 5 years, and
Yeah,
knowing this is their last year, and not just that, they have made probably one of the greatest runs that they have ever made at St. Martin's in itself,
yeah.
especially in their four years of the school, and they're trying to really end it off in a big way.
Yeah, our senior class, that's a special group of guys right there. Kind of, in my opinion, I feel like they're like the heartbeat of our campus of St. Martin's, and they're a really special group, and they're really special to me. And those guys are positive. They're the best of friends. I mean, it's just never anything negative with that group, and so and then you've got a lot of talented players in that group. Obviously, Harlem Berry and everything he's done and everything he's meant. But Ashton Oliver, really good football player. Helmke, our kicker, is a Division I commitment, and there's really no. He's committed to Boise, but honestly, there's no telling where he might end up. Really special guy. And then Daniel Fink's been a 3-year starter. Zach Kelly. Uh, we actually lost Zach Kelly for the year, starting O lineman and D lineman. Cole Lacoste starts on the O line and D line. Thompson Becknell, and shoot, there's one I'm forgetting that I better not forget. Ashton, Harlem, Cooper, Zach, Daniel, Thompson. Man, Cole, and I named Cole the Car. So I think I got them all, but that's a really special group. And they're all going to go on to have success in life. And they all just love and enjoy playing football for each other so much. And like I said, I just think the heartbeat of our campus. I think that's the best description that I could give you for that group of guys. And they hold a special place in my heart for sure, that group.
Same
And
group.
I'll add this too. I'll add this too. I'm probably more afraid of graduating their parents than them because they're a great group of parents that are very supportive and to do anything for that program and for that school.
Yes, absolutely. And what's funny, the same senior group you're talking also played basketball, and they made one of
Yeah,
the best runs as well. So two sports stars just making an impact, not just on the football field or on the
yeah,
basketball court, various appearances in the top 28. So,
absolutely. That's a great point. And a lot of them are three sports. You know what I mean? Like
that's right.
whether it be track, baseball, football, basketball, soccer, whatever. Like these guys are playing everything. And if I was giving my recruiting pitch right now for St. Martin's, that's what it is. All of our coaches, we know how to work together and we know how to share athletes and we want to be good and successful at everything. And you don't have to specialize. If Harlem Berry can be the number one running back in the country, and still play basketball and still run track, you don't have to specialize. I think that I hope that that message is out there more and more to kids. Like this is still youth sports. This is still high school sports, man. Play everything that you can.
It's a rarity at a lot of schools. They're not doing what they usually do to share athletes, like talking about it. So,
Yeah,
there's
I
some schools
think
that still do it, but surprisingly, and Jared, I don't know if you know that there's some schools that kind of slow down on it a lot. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's
there's some
kind of
schools that slow down, but I know some schools that have picked up on it also.
yeah,
yeah,
well, Timmy Bird and Bill Stubbs showed me the blueprint at Riverside on how to get that done. And those guys were, obviously dominant in football, basketball, and we were dominant in baseball at the time as well. And it was all the same guys. So I kind of saw the blueprint on how that can work, and it definitely starts with the coaches.
very much agreed. Got to ask you this last one, and I'll turn it over to Jared. Um, all your seniors gonna be, out of here after this year, especially the work they done. But for Harlem Berry to move forward, especially putting an effort for 4 years at St. Martin's, and he's a LSU Tiger now. Saying,
Mhm.
well, what do you think on his future? Do you think things go well for Harlem at LSU? Because a lot of people said that he could be day one status or could be number one or number two on the depth chart because they feel that Harlem is really continue to step his game up.
Yeah. So let me figure out the best way to answer it. And I'll kind of answer it as if I'm talking to Harlem, right? And I think the message is this: Harlem is going to be fine from a work ethic standpoint, from a discipline standpoint, from a teammate standpoint, from a culture standpoint. Like he's going to check off all of those boxes and be at the top of the list on all of those things. Like that's just who he is. So when you are all of those things, success is going to follow. Like it's going to happen. And then, to kind of figure to kind of answer the rest of that in terms of is he going to be a running back? Is he going to be a receiver? Is he going to start? Is he going to play day one? This is the same thing I would tell Harlem. My opinion don't matter. You better go in and you better do what those coaches tell you. You're going to be in Frank Wilson's room or whoever's room. That's your opinion matters, not mine, not anybody else's, not even mama's and daddy's, your girlfriend, nobody. That's your opinion matters. So you better be ready to go to work and you better be ready to listen to that person. Don't call me because my opinion don't matter. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the team you're on and those are the people you're with. And if you commit it and you sign with them, that's who you're trusting to get you to where you need to go. And all I can do is wish him the best of luck. When that time comes, but I got no reason to think the sky isn't the limit for Harlem. I know who he is as an athlete, but when you know that young man as a person, like, failure is not an option, and that's in any front. It's just not an option.
Good answer, Coach. Good answer.
Coach Dizer, thank you for joining us. Good luck to you this Friday night, and good luck to you and
Yes,
your team
sir.
throughout the rest of the season.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all guys for having me on. Thank you for what you're doing for high school sports, and all is well at St. Mark's, brother. Thank y'all for the support. Appreciate it.
Definitely, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, good night.
Night. That is Coach Kevin Dizer, and in 9 minutes we will bring in Coach Wallace Foster III, the head coach of the Riverdale Scottish Rebels. In 8 minutes now, we will bring him in at exactly 8:15. We got the one and only George Peppers back with us. Let's bring George in. Hey, George, how you doing?
I
Can you
don't
hear
know
us,
what
George?
perfect timing for a system update on my phone to kick me completely out of here, and then not having to, the updates that come randomly and you miss it. Well, I'm sitting there talking 1 minute and I see your phone will restart in 10 seconds. I'm like, oh, this is a joke, and nope, it ain't. But we're good, I think.
All
I
good.
think.
Look, Coach Dizer in his third year as the head coach at St. Martin's. He has done a phenomenal job with that program. I mean, we talk about deep runs in the playoffs for 2 straight years. They're looking to make another deep run and looking to get to the dome, led by Harlem Berry, GP. Can this team get to the dome this year? There was a lot of talk last year, and
Hmm.
they fell short. Can it happen this year for this team?
Are they in Division 3 or 4 select? Which one are they?
Four. Four select.
4.
Yes.
Who's in there, VK and JB, that can do something with them?
Southern Lab, Vermilion Catholic, Riverside.
Watchtower Christian,
I think Watchdog Christian now is in Division
or did they
Two
move up?
Select. I think they moved up to
See,
Division Two Select.
here's the thing: they have they have the horse to do it, and I'm talking about Harlan Berry. Ride that bad boy till you get to New Orleans. We did their quarterfinal game last year, me and VK, and I think it was at Jefferson Playground. They played that game
No, no, no. That
against
was the St.
Riverside.
Martin's. That was the St.
We
Martin's.
did that quarterfinal game, St. Martin's, and it was a very festive atmosphere. And they fell short. Riverside got to the dome. If they've got to go, and they play them this week, and Riverside, you think they're smart enough after what happened last week against Vermilion Catholic in a rematch situation? That is Lee Roussel's learning spot right now. But back to St. Martin's, the question I would have asked Coach Dizer is the one we had this debate on before the year. How great is this running back class, recruiting wise? How good is it? But are they good enough? The answer, man, part of me wants to say yeah, and that's the conflict, but I honestly don't, and I'm gonna regret it. I know I am.
Yeah, you're
I
gonna regret
don't
it.
think
You're
on the
gonna regret
what
it.
I mean. I think they've got the right running back and the right scheme to make another run, but can they beat Riverside in a playoff setting? Can they beat Southern Lab in a playoff setting? I'm not so sure. Lab's got athletes all over at every level on defense. They've got them all over. VK, remember, they were young last year and they still made a dome and won it. Um, I don't think so, is the answer, but it wouldn't completely be out of the realm that they can. I
Wow.
think they could. I think hmm, the thing is, I think they could get to the dome, but I'm not sure that if they run into the lab on the way, let's say the brackets fall where they got to run into one of them sluggers, like lab in the quarters, could they beat them? And more than likely, they would have to travel to play
All
that
right.
game.
I gotta let VK get here quickly. I'm gonna say this. A lot of questions will be answered this Friday night in the game against
Yes.
Riverside. And especially if they get that victory against Riverside, That answers a lot of questions for sure.
Big.
VK, quickly, I'll give you 1 minute. And we got to go to commercial, and then we got to bring in Coach Foster.
All right. Well, they got to get this win. Ashton Oliver is going to be a real X factor because he really brings a lot. And it takes a lot of pressure off Harlem, and them two need each other more than anything else. But I tell you, they got to get this win. St. Martin's is number 8 in the power rankings, and Riverside is 12. But it is really a stacked select four. Essentially, Catholic, Vermilion Catholic. You still got Washington Christian. You still got something.
Oh, they're still there. Okay.
And also, you also have Kentwood. Can't forget about the Kangaroos. So, like I said, this is a stacked Division 4. Maybe one of the stacks we've seen in a while. So, but for St. Martin's, they got to step it up. Friday is a critical game.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take a commercial break. And when we come back, we have the head coach of the Riverdale Scottish Rebels, Coach Wallace Foster III, joining us right here on the Hash It Out Show.
Welcome to Bayou AV Security. My name is Rusty Mathern, proud owner and operator. We specialize in providing top-notch audio solutions, advanced security cameras, reliable internet services, and stunning permanent holiday lighting. At Bayou AV Security, we are your one-stop shop for all your needs, whether it's enhancing your home entertainment system, securing your property, ensuring a seamless internet connection, or illuminating your outdoor spaces. We've got you covered. We are locally owned and conveniently located on the West Bank. As a fully licensed business, we take pride in delivering quality service you can trust. You can see our exceptional work showcased in the Parade of Homes. Experience the Bayou difference firsthand. Bayou AV Security, where technology meets reliability. Call us today to experience the Bayou difference.
And welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, the sports guy, joined by VK Jones and George Peppers. Our next guest, he is the head coach of the Riverdale Scottish Rebels, and they have a big game this Thursday night right here on the West Bank against John Ehret. We have the one, the only Coach Wallace Foster III. Coach Foster, how you doing? And thank you for joining us.
Man, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing great, Coach. We're doing great. Let's get right into it, Coach. What was the reason you decided to become a coach?
I mean, why not? I mean, I've been playing football since I was 6 years old. And once I finished college football, I look around, I'm saying, do I want to go in the workforce? I could stay on the sideline. I went to graduate school. I loved it. I went to University of Nebraska at Kearney. I got my master's degree there, and then I've been stuck ever since.
Awesome, awesome. What was it about Riverdale that made you decide to be their head coach?
Well, Riverdale have a unique history. I mean, I interviewed for that job 3 times back in the days, and they gave it to other guys, and unfortunately, I didn't get the job. But what I like about the school is the fact that we have a middle school in front of our school, and so we have a feeder school, and we practice right next to those guys every day. So they see us practicing, and they look at us up, and they say they want to be a part of what we got going on. And in Jefferson Parish, we have a district, and I go to all the schools in my district, and I can offer a good educational background for my school. And I mean, why not Riverdale?
You speak of educational background. What I didn't know, and I never knew this about Riverdale, that it's an A school. So that's a plus also.
Only A school in Jefferson Parish. Well, you got, Patrick Taylor and Haynes Academy. And other than that, we're A school. Top academics. We got the IB program, International Baccalaureate program. We offer that to the kids. I mean, my quarterback is in there. A bunch of the boys on the football team is in that program, and it's accelerated course, a lot of AP courses, and we got the upper echelon of academics at our school.
This Riverdale football team, they did make the playoffs last year,
Sir.
and now you're the head coach. What are some of the short-term goals or expectations that you want to achieve with this team this season?
Well, every day after practice, the boys they break down on district champs. That's one of our goals. The short-term goal is to be district champs. Well, but the short-term goal is to win Thursday. One game at a time. And the goal is to win district champs. We talk about playing on practicing on Thanksgiving. That's a major goal. So if you practice on Thanksgiving, that means you them dudes. And I come from Warren Eastern. We got a good program over there, and they taught me a lot from Jerry Phillips and those guys. And I want to instill those same type of winning behaviors in my boys at Riverdale.
Most definitely. Everyone who's watching on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and on YouTube, hit those follow and subscribe buttons. Coach, you speak of Warren Easton. You worked with Jerry Phillips. How much of an influence was Coach Phillips to you?
I mean, Jerry's a really smart guy, man. He got it all figured out over there. He ruled with an iron fist. The boys respect him. The coach respect him. Administration respect him. I mean, he came under Tony Hall. Tony Hall taught us a lot. He moved on to college, and he's doing great things out there. I mean, but working with Jerry Phillips, I learned a lot, and I'm taking a lot of things I learned from him. I'm instilling in my boys over at Riverdale, and they're responding. We had a tough couple of games that we lost, but it was humbling for us. But right now we're on the right track. We've got a big game Thursday night. The boys are ready to go. We're excited. Got one more day of practice. We're gonna put it all together. Man, I'm excited.
Definitely. Big game Thursday night. In this district, John Ehret for many years has been what you can say the top tier team of this district with the many championships that they won in this district. Riverdale, up and coming program. You guys look great. This is going to be a great challenge for both of you all. And if you guys get this win, you guys control your own destiny to win in that district. But let's talk about Thursday night. What is it you see on film about John Ehret?
Well, first of all, we respect all of our opponents. We got a couple games from John Ehret. We're watching those games, and I'm showing the boys what we got to do and what we don't have to do. Everybody got to do their job, and we can fly around fast. Assignments and alignments, playing fast. I think we'd be successful. I mean, it's a humbling from last week. We lost to a really good football team. We played against Pope John Paul. We really got close in that game. So I tell the boys that we're almost there. This is a game of inches. Now, if we could cross our T's and dot our I's, and we could play fast, we could come out with a victory.
VK Jones.
Coach Foster, man, it's good to have you on the show and everything. And no problem, man. And it's amazing the day that I finally met and talked with you was the day that your son signed the National Letter of Intent. And it was funny that day I met Coach Foster. It was the same day that he was actually officially hired as the head coach of Riverdale. So
yes, sir.
I know that was a great day for you. How things is going with your son at LSU, and and also how it's been making the adjustment now from being an assistant coach for a long time to now head coach.
Well, I mean, Jerry Phillips made it look real easy being a head football coach. But as a head football coach, you take on a lot of responsibilities. I thought that was going to be a good idea to be a position coach and be a head coach. And, man, it's hard work. So now I can't wait till we, finish out, reach all our goals this season so I can hire me a D-line coach so I could just sit back and be the head football coach. But as far as Lil Wallace, he's doing great at LSU. He got some playing time last week on special teams. I was really excited to see him run out down the football field. I think he's gonna red shirt this year and say that year he may get another couple games on the football field, but he's doing well. We're doing well at Riverdale. We're heading in the right direction, one game at a time.
And the biggest message you said, and even a couple people a little bit that we kind of know a little bit at Riverdale, the biggest thing you said discipline, and not just
Oh man,
that, the change in entire culture over there at Riverdale. You know, it had to take a lot, because the year before Riverdale made some steps, but now you're trying to take it to another stratosphere. What can you tell us your thoughts, especially how you got there and had to really kind of change things to have them to adjust to you? Because it seems like the players are starting to really buy into what you're doing.
they are. It's a process. The cool thing about I got a job in February, so I had time to mold the kids. Get to know me. I get to know them. And in the beginning it was kind of rough because I'm new. So I had the spring game. I had a spring game. I had a fall scrimmage, and I had a jamboree. And so after the jamboree, the guys kind of like, okay, this guy's serious. Some guys, the discipline, that's very important. But some guys couldn't play in the game because of discipline. Because where we are now, because of I've been there for a long period of time, the discipline is set. The guys know who I am. I know who they are, and everybody's moving in the same direction. We don't have any more discipline problems. I say in order to win on the football field, got to win in the classroom. So now the guys are starting to win in the classroom, and those things are going to transfer over to the football field. So we on our way. We almost there. And I keep on preaching to the boys. We take care of small things. Trust the process. Then we're going to be all right come Thursday night.
Last week, you came off a tough loss against Newman. I know it was an interesting type of week more than
Right.
anything else. And I know you had a lot to say probably to the kids after, but you don't have to say everything. But at the same time, I know that you not was not happy at all, because I know it was just a tough week. But how you come off that to go into this week into district?
Well, we use that as a springboard. I mean, I tell the boys that football is an ultimate team sport, and we played against a really good football team. Now, we may have a lot more talent than them, but they played as a really good football team. So now they saw that we need a team to win a football game. You can't play like with five guys like in basketball. All 11 guys got to be on the same page working as one unit. So we look at the film, we saw the things that we did wrong, we made our corrections. The boys bought into they took the coaching, and so they're gonna use everything that we didn't do wrong last week and apply for Thursday night's game. And then we're gonna see that the ultimate team gonna come out as the victor.
That's good. That's a good answer right there, Coach. Gotta ask you a little bit about your players. Can you tell us a little bit on who is really leading the way for this Scottish Rebels team?
All right, well, we have a super dynamic quarterback, Rita Ghazali. He's done a good job at leading the football team. We got a dynamic running back, Byron Perillet. He's awesome. He's a junior. He's going to be big time. He is big time already. I have a dynamic receiver, Torrin Signal. He's going to be awesome. Him and Byron are both juniors. Their ceiling is high. They work hard. They play offense. And I got Torrin P playing a little defense this week. My leader on defense is my son, Vernell Foster. He's middle linebacker. He's leading the way. We got some dynamic players as far as my safety. We have Kobe Buffkin. I moved Kobe to safety this week. He's crazy. He's going to come down here and get the job done. He's going to stay over top. I keep on preaching them up all week long. Stay over top. They got some really fast receivers. We got to stay on top of those guys. And I got my defensive end / Rover is Donnell, not Donnell. That's Swilly, Dwayne Swilly. He's really fast. He's a track guy. He's playing defensive end and Rover this week. And who's going to anchor my other end is Donnell Bolton. Young guy, man. He's a 10th grader, but he's real smart and he's very coachable. That's what I like about him. I mean, we got Landon in the middle and my defense, my nose guard. He's my senior. He leads the D line. He got to have a great game this week. I can name a whole bunch of other guys, but those are the top guys that we really counting on. And so in order for everything to be successful come Thursday night, those guys got to show up and show out, man. I'm excited about this game on Thursday. This is the one we really need. All roads been leading to this game right here. So this is what we want right here. This is the one.
We saw Byron P last year in a game, man. When I say He's a real deal, coach. He's a real deal.
He's the real deal, man. He worked hard in the weight room. He's a lead in the weight room. He's a lead on the football field. He's a real jokester. He's great in the classroom. No discipline problems. Me and him have a great relationship. We joke around a lot. I don't really play with the boys, but he know how far to take it. He the one that know how to put a smile on my face every day.
That's a good thing. Gotta ask you this one more last question now. Give it back to JB. What would it mean to you to get this, not just to you, but to Riverdale to get a huge victory to set the tone for the district, but not just that, possibly maybe one of the biggest wins in school history, something that they have been waiting on for a long time. There've been some very few big victories in their history over the years, including a couple winning seasons, but this could be one of the biggest maybe ever.
Man, we got a hashtag say hashtag why not Riverdale, and why not us? And you got to change the mindset. Once you change the mindset, then everything else is going to change. And I come from a school, we used to see another school, and we used to, I ain't saying too many names, but when I was at One Nation, we used to see a team, and then we used to see that K and lose our mind, So at Riverdale, we see that E, and it's the same type of mindset, So once we get over that hump, man, it's going to be major. So we've been preaching that all week at practice. Why not Riverdale? Why not us? This game right here could put us on the map. I mean, we wanted last week game to put us on the map, but that's the past. But we get a game like this, it's gonna be huge for the program. It's gonna be huge for the school. It's gonna be huge for us moving forward, even for recruiting purposes. Because everybody want to be associated with a winner. If we go out there and show that we can win, that's gonna be huge for us. You can't talk our game, man. You gotta play it. So come Thursday night, we're gonna line up and put our best foot forward, and may the best team win.
I'm going to bring in George Peppers. He has a couple questions for you, Coach.
Come on, George. What's up, bud?
Hey, George.
George.
Seems like he's frozen over there.
No, he's not frozen. Can you hear us, George?
Uh-oh.
No, we can't hear him. George, log out and come back in.
All right, there we go.
Back in. Oh, there we go. All right.
No, I'm in. All right.
Go ahead.
I'm in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Coach, first off, thank you for taking the time for joining us. And full disclosure, I am a John Eric graduate. So it's going to be a little different,
Respect.
Listen, it's all good. I get that. But let's talk about, because I'm listening to you, and and you guys are really putting a lot of eggs in this basket. I think the realization is that Riverdale and Eric are the two best teams in a district that, let's be honest, is not very deep. And the winner of this game probably stamps their way to a district championship. Let's be honest. Is that the prevalent mindset for you guys?
That's the mindset, not disrespecting any of our opponents.
Oh, at all.
Right. Just know that that's what we're talking about. This the district champion right here. No disrespect to our opponents. We got to play other games. You can't talk this game, but this is a big game for us. We win this game, everything else is gonna be, one step at a time. But we want this one right here. We got to put ourselves on the map. We got to put ourselves on the map. This puts us on the map right here. For
the longest time, Riverdale has been bereft of success. What would it mean? And I know coaches hate this, to look ahead, like after the district is done. What would it mean for the Riverdale Rebels, the Riverdale Scottish Rebels, to win a district championship? I don't know if they've ever won a varsity championship in football in district. I'm not sure. What would it mean?
I don't think they have. But like I said earlier, the boys been breaking down on district champs all year long. This is one of our goals. We want to win all our games. That's in the perfect world, that'll be perfect. But this one right here, this the one we've really been looking at on the calendar from day one. We wanted to win all the games. We wanted to win all the snaps. But this one right here, we get this game right here, we are on the map. Everybody gonna be like, Riverdale won a game versus a big team like that. So the mindset is going into this that we are just as talented as them. the best team got to win. We got to cross our T's and dot our I's. We go out there and play fast and be physical. I mean, we're going to be successful. I think.
Considering how big this game is, what has been the buzz around campus this week in advance of this game? How's the enthusiasm level at the school, understanding what's at stake?
I mean, right, it's being real, real quiet right now, because we lost last week. So, a lot of people like, well, it's just Riverdale. It's the same old stuff, getting beat. And, but the boys, our tempo, our mindset is, that game is in the past. We're going to learn from that and use everything we learned from that game to help us be victorious on Thursday night. That's the goal.
You've played 5 games, and you guys are sitting where you're at, ready to start district. How do you assess your team at the halfway mark of the season, and what do you feel like your team needs to improve and to try to win this district championship?
Well, we played 4 games. One of our games got
4, I'm
canceled.
sorry. I said 5. I'm sorry.
I mean, one thing about football is very humbling. In the beginning, I'm talking smack. We're gonna win 10 games and we're gonna be undefeated. But you get smacked around a couple of times, you bring it back to reality. So we needed that. I mean, sometimes you got to lose to win. And so I think we lost those 2 games so that we could ultimately be victorious on Thursday night. So everything that we didn't do right in those last the 2 games that we lost, they're looking at it and say, okay, if we do this, we're gonna be successful. So this is a huge win. It's gonna be a huge game for the program. Hope everybody come out, support us. It's gonna be a great night for football. Should be no weather situation going on. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna blow the whistle, and the referee gonna spot the ball. Man, we're gonna go out there and play some football. Now, in order for us to be successful, gotta go out there and line up properly. Gotta know your assignment. And when you know your assignment and you know your alignment, now everybody gonna go out there and play fast. That's all we keep on playing, talk about all week long. Playing fast, being physical. The offense gonna go out there and do their job. Now, if the defense show up, man, we're gonna party Thursday night. And we off school Thursday, so it's gonna be a good night for football Thursday night. Come check us out, man.
Look, I love your enthusiasm. I really do. And, I'm on the other side of this because I'm a John Eric grad, but I love your enthusiasm. I just have to say that for the record. But, the last time Riverdale and Eric danced, Riverdale got beat 42-7. What's got to change? I'm sure you've looked at the tape of the playoff game last year. And obviously you weren't the coach, but, y'all, you've seen it. What do you feel like has to change for Riverdale to flip the result this year?
The mind got to change. I mean, we got the guys to do it. I mean, you got to go up in there. You got to know you got to win. When I was at the other program, when we won when we walked into the stadium, the game was won before we even played. You got to win a game before you play it. We walked in the stadium, it's like, man, we got to just finish it now. And that's what we got to go up in there with the mindset that we can win. And sometimes they may score a touchdown, they may get a first down, we may fumble. That's okay. We play 4 quarters, and we play 4 quarters of football. Ball to the wall, we're going to come out victorious. And our mindset is changing. We just saw what happened in the past 2 games that we came up short. But we changed our mind. We go up in there with the mindset that we can win, because I think we can win. I know we can win. And our coaches know we can win. But the boys got to put their mind and say, well, you know what? I want to win. And when they say that, man, it's going to be trouble.
Let's say Riverdale wins this game Thursday night. What's the post-game atmosphere going to feel like if y'all win this game Thursday? And that's my last question, JB.
Okay.
Man, I'm celebrating right now, bro. I'm telling the boys,
I hear you, Coach.
We win Thursday night. We're going to come to practice Friday morning because we're off school Friday. We're going to watch the game. We're off for the whole weekend. Saturday, Sunday, I'll see you Monday. You know what I'm saying? So that's our incentive. We're going to come in, lift weights on Friday morning, do ice baths, watch the film, have fun, laugh and giggle about all the plays that we made. And then Saturday and Sunday, we're going to enjoy ourselves and come back Monday and get ready to go to war all over again. But the incentive is win Thursday, we're off for the weekend.
There you have it. I got one last question, Coach, and we'll get you out of here.
Talk to me.
You brought your son. Well, I shouldn't say you brought. Your son decided to go with you and play at Riverdale instead of staying at Warren Easton. What were your thoughts about that?
I thought I was Coach Prime, bro. You know, that's every coach's dream to coach their own son, bro. You know, I just wish I would have got this job a couple of years ago. I would have had the LSU player on my team. You know,
Yeah.
so, but that's the pride and joy of being a head coach, man. My son, he come over with me. He's a leader on the defense. The school have embraced him. He loved the decision that he made. He's really a part of the environment. The teachers love him. The players love him. He's not an outcast. There's never a day where he thinks, well, man, did I make the right decision? Every day he be like, man, I'm so glad I did this. And I'm like, man, I'm glad you did this too, you know? But, I mean, he's a great kid. He's a great student. So he's adapting well. You would think that the boy been there all 4 years, you know? Him and his teammates, they hang out together. They go to parties. They do everything that he was doing at the other school, but just that he's doing it with red and white on now, and he's loving it. He's loving every minute of it. And he's one of the leaders on defense. He's one of my captains on the football team. And man, as a head coach and as a father, it don't get no better than this. I'm Coach Prime, baby.
I feel you, Coach. I feel you. Coach Foster, thank you for joining us. Good luck Thursday night. We're going to see you Thursday night. We're going to be there this Thursday night at the stadium. So good luck Thursday night, and good luck to you and your team throughout the rest of the season also.
Man, thank you for having me, man. It's been a pleasure and an honor. I thank y'all for what y'all done for high school football. Go Rebels.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach Wallace Foster III, the head coach of the Riverdale Scottish Rebels. Everybody watching, whatever you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, hit them follow buttons, hit the subscribe buttons. Help this show blow up even bigger than ever, because without you all, we cannot do this. But let's talk about Riverdale right quick. I want to go first. I tell you, man, Coach Foster has come in and he's already changed the culture, changed the atmosphere, changed the environment. Those kids on that team, they have bought into his system. They have bought into his coaching philosophy, and it has shown already in the 4 games that they have played. We talked early in the season about John Ehret being the favorite to win district again. But we said that Riverdale would be that team that would challenge them for district. And it is the first district game for both of them. A lot will be said come Thursday night. But before we get into that game a little bit, what Coach Foster has done with this team has been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. And he talks about the mindset. And I have to agree, that's the first thing that he had to change with this team. Have them to believe. What is belief? Belief means, yes, I can. So with them changing the mindset and having them believe that they can win any game is possible. I saw it on Twitter with the back and forth with Louisiana 5A / D1, whatever. You know, they telling them, yes, we can beat Newman. Yes. So you see it now that they believe they can win, and that is great. And that is what the foundation must start with. Believing in yourselves. Believing that you can go to any game and win. No matter if you happen to lose that game, you come back saying, all right, we lost. Let's work on the things we need to get better at, correct our mistakes, but we're going to win the next game. You got to have that mindset. He has done that at Riverdale. I commend him for it. And now the chance to win a district championship starts Thursday night, VK.
Well, he's done. He's definitely done a great job and everything. I completely understand where you're coming from with the mindset and everything. But last week is more different, and that's why I asked him that question. And you can see the answer was a really good one in that, saying about you take from there what you missed and what correcting and all. But at the same time, a lot of times with that, it's good to have a good mindset, but sometimes you got to humble yourself. And I think last week was the fact that Riverdale really had to humble themselves, because the thing is, it's nothing wrong with having that belief, but you bring it to the field too. Having the mindset first, but bring it to the field. That was the only thing about last week because I was like, no, that's not. It's good, but that's not the way to do it. The thing about at Easton, the mindset, yeah, but they brought it to the field. So that's the most important thing. And that's what Riverdale is doing. They're competing. Last week was an exception, but now Coach Foster, and it was good that he said they had to put this behind them. They had to put this behind them because this is real, real important. This is going to set the tone for the District 10 5A on Thursday night. Looking forward to seeing what happens. And whoever wins this is going to set the tone for the district the rest of the season. And the thing is, all I see in the district, anything can happen, but I ain't gonna lie, the only one team I see that could be a scary team, could be a possible factor. Watch out for Bonneville. Watch out for Bonneville. They could be a factor because
I say East Jeff too
with
a little bit. I say East Jeff too.
I don't know. You look at the last couple weeks of East Jeff. I don't know. Because I'm telling you, I think East Jeff's becoming helter skelter, especially what we didn't see in the last
I
couple
ain't gonna
weeks.
say that yet.
I'm definitely
I know they
saying
lost
that.
to 35. I know they lost to South Plaquemines, but
Yeah, but
this district here, I think it still got a chance.
not saying that they don't have a chance, but at the same time, I just see a little more competitive, like with the difference between East Jeff and the difference between Bonneville. Bonneville, yeah, they lost some games, but look at the deficits and look at how competitive they were. They've been in every game just about. So when you show me that, that just shows me that you about to get some wins on the belt. And they gave Kinder Discovery their first loss of the season last week, and mostly almost a one-sided ball game. So all I'm saying, they could be a fact. I don't think East Jeff will be out of it, but Bonneville kind of really makes me think a lot that they could be a factor.
I'm on the Instagram chat right now, and we got a couple Eric and Riverdale players in there right now. It's good. It's good competitive banner talk right now. It's nothing bad. It's good competitive banner talk. I like what they're saying. This is good, and this is gonna be a good matchup come Thursday. I like it right now. Oh yeah. All right, GP, what you got? What you got to say?
Huh. This is the right mantra for John Everett. When you listen to what Riverdale, and you're seeing all the rub they're putting, talking about all their eggs are in this basket. You think the Patriots are sitting idly by and saying, we still run this district, and we're gonna show y'all Thursday night. They're thinking it. If I'm Reggie
Yeah,
Rogers,
I
I'm
see it
telling my
too. I
team.
see it right now. I see it. Go ahead.
If I'm Reggie Rogers, I'm telling my team. You see them kids on the new kids on the block. Let's show them who runs this place. That's the easiest motivational speech. Easy. And Charles Allen, I see you in the chat, and I know we'll see you Thursday night. But I offer up a little wager, not monetary. Let's think of something fun that you and I could put down. I'll take John Everett. You take Riverdale straight up.
Oh, hold on, hold
And
on, hold on. You cannot take John Eric yet. Take that back. Take
You
that
got
oh,
back.
because of tomorrow night, and that game is going to be on our pick sheet.
no,
If, if,
wait.
go VK. Go ahead.
Take it back. Don't do anything right now
Nothing yet.
because nothing yet. We're working on something. So
I think I know where you're going with this. Okay,
There
never
you
mind.
go.
there
There
you
you
go.
go. There you
Don't
I hear
go.
you.
don't pull the
Yes.
trigger yet.
Yes.
And you mentioned about the perspectives of who can compete in the district. Let's be honest. I think it's Riverdale and I think it's Everett. Those are the two teams de facto that they've shown the most pulse rate. Bonneville did beat Kenner Discovery, but Kenner Discovery is a brand new program, 3-4 years in. They don't have the teeth that these other schools have, and Bonneville has challenged themselves outside of district. I see where BK is going. East Jeff, they've slid back a little bit. Brian Glover does a good job there, but I feel like that team's limited. West Jeff and Higgins, yet really can't say anything good about those two teams. I don't think, West Jeff, and they got shut out 3 times this year in 4 games.
now the Buccaneers have won two
They're
straight now.
who
They've
they beat
won two
McMain.
straight games.
They beat a McMain team that was stripped bare last year, and they're still bare. And they've
Well,
won
I'm
one
sorry,
game.
that
I
one
don't think
game.
they've won two.
I think it's
That's
one
right.
VK.
One game, one game,
Yeah,
one game. You're right.
they
I'm
got
Higgins,
sorry.
one win.
Higgins, Higgins won one on the field, and then
but
they
but
was
then
giving the Carver forfeit loss.
Right.
yeah, they get
But
yeah,
Thursday night, I think
but
it's not gonna. The last time these two teams played was in the playoffs, and it was a rainy night that night, misty, rainy, cold. It wasn't ideal weather conditions, and both teams. Riverdale made a ton of mistakes that night, a ton. Offsides, encroachments, a lot of undisciplined mistakes. And that's not to say anything bad about the previous regime, but Coach Foster has really come in and said, boys, lock in, get your minds right. And they look more fundamentally sound. Now, last week, notwithstanding, look, that's an elite football team, Newman. That's a team that has a very good quarterback. And did anybody really think they could win that game? No. Let's be honest. Eli Friend is a
They did
very
though.
they
Riverdale
did.
thought
And
so.
look,
Yeah.
you applaud their confidence. I get
Yes.
that. I get that. You applaud their confidence and they have a belief. But what happens? Here's the the flip side of it. Let's say Riverdale plays Errett. Wait, they are going to play him. But let's say Errett wins. What does it do to Riverdale going forward? Because I feel like they're putting everything into this game. And if they fail, what kind of a long term effect does it have on them? Even though they may be better than some of these other teams, what kind of a long term effect does it have on the rest of the district schedule?
I think with Coach Foster, they'll be fine. They'll be mentally tough. They'll be able to move on if they happen to lose this game. I think they'll be mentally tough and be able to move on. I really think so. But they know the standard of this district for years. Even though they didn't win district last year, the standard of this district has been John Eric.
Yep.
It's been their district.
It
So
has.
you want to beat the team that's been at the top of the totem pole. This is it right here.
they
They want
said
to they want to beat them. They do, and they want to be like he said. If they beat John Eric, they feel like they are on the map. VK.
they said you got to be the man, you got to beat the man,
That's it.
and Eric has been the man. What over the last decade,
Yeah.
maybe 15 years?
Yes.
Jesus Christ! I'm sorry, except for last season when Chalmette took it.
Right.
So that's the last time. But at the same time, Eric has been a part of this, been a part of district championships for years and years. And I tell you one thing, this is where, and like I said, this is the biggest game in Riverdale history. They know that this game means so much, not just the district, but the history of the school. They have made strides. They had some winning seasons, and now they're going against a nemesis that has haunted them so long. As in, you have to think every time they went against each other, Eric's second team is usually in the game about late second quarter or start of the third. They don't want to be the doormats no more. They want to be the dogs to take over. So it's gonna be interesting, and that's where it's gotta be. You have to set the tone, especially against a multi-champion. So I think this is what they got to do. If they do that, hey, Riverdale controls their own destiny.
Back to you, George.
I mean, we're looking at the superlatives and everything else about this game. I think Riverdale's talent base has improved.
Yeah.
They've got they've got players. Used to be that they struggle to get players that could play competitively. Now it's not that. They've really upped their game in reference to getting competitive, talented football players at Riverdale. And with Wallace Foster at the helm, they're going to be fine. And that aspect going forward. If, let's say they don't win Thursday night and they finish second in the district, because let's be honest, I don't think either team loses on paper after they play each other Thursday. There's still four more games to go after Thursday night, and one of these two teams is going to take a gargantuan step towards a district championship.
Yes.
Now, admittedly, this district has been subpar this year. You look at the non-district results and everything else. It has not been good. So I think this is where Aaron and Riverdale have to say, you know what, let's change the script. One of us is going to have to go on that run. Who's it going to be? And that's what makes the stakes of this game so high. Because somebody in this game, when they leave after 48 minutes, is going to have a stranglehold on this district. Who is it? Got to stay tuned tomorrow for who we're going to pick. Because that's going to more than likely.
We might not pick him
We might,
tomorrow. We
We
might not
might
even
not
pick him
pick it.
tomorrow. We'll
like I
see.
said, like
Okay.
I said, we're working on something. So
Yes,
we
we'll
can't
see.
say it right
We can't say
now.
it yet.
So just
Sit
chill.
tight. Sit tight.
Zip it right
We'll know
now.
by tomorrow.
We'll know by
We'll
tomorrow.
know by tomorrow. All right. So we talked
Mhm.
about Riverdale. I want to talk about John Ehret a little bit since we're still on this topic. John Ehret's 1-4. They're 1-4. Not what we're accustomed to seeing from John Ehret. To me, they gotta win out. They gotta win out. Could we say right here, maybe there's more pressure on John Ehret? VK?
Yes, absolutely. You gotta maintain your season now. You're 1-4. All you have now is district championship on. That's all you got left. And then on top of that, to just make the playoffs. And the only way you might have to make it is to win district. So for Eric, there's some pressure on them a bit. They can win it. They can win the district, but it's got to be one game at a time. And Thursday night, Riverdale ain't giving it to them. John Eric got to earn it.
George?
I don't know if the pressure is really 100% on John Ehret. I think the way Riverdale's been talking up, I feel like they're putting an unjust amount of pressure on themselves to deliver. And if they don't, it could be a problem. John Ehret, in their mind, is expected to win. They're going to look at Riverdale, and this is the part where I don't want to see complacent. Oh, we've beaten them before. We've owned them. Riverdale can't beat us. Get that mantra out of your mind. Go out there because that's an improved football team. Yeah, they got dusted last week against Newman. But do not go out there, John Ehret, and think, well, the game's won before the kickoff. Because guess what? Your heart will get broke at the end of 48 minutes. You fool around and think, oh, it's Riverdale. They ain't won nothing in their life. They're no good. It's a new Riverdale Rebel. It's a new Riverdale Scottish Rebels. So John Ehret's got to be able to handle their business and do what they got to do. I think there's some pressure on Ehret, but I don't think it's all on them. I think Riverdale has built this up too. This is our biggest chance to win a title. And that pressure, if let's say they go under duress early in that game, John Ehret gets out to what, 14, 17 nothing lead or something like that. Um, how does Riverdale respond to a deficit in this game? I think that is a key no one's talking about. How, if with all the talk about the Rebels saying this is our de facto district championship, and let's say they start slow and Eric breaks like a shot, how do the Rebels react? Do they have the temerity and the character to rally? Last year in the playoffs, they were talking a little bit and they got whipped. I mean, Eric admittedly was better last year. They were a better
Yeah.
football team last year, much better than they have this year. Now you look at the result last week against John F. Kennedy, they lost 7-0. Don't know what led into that. Yeah, Coach Al Page wasn't there, but John Everett only giving up 7 points and losing that game. I don't know if that was a corner turner or just I don't know what to make of that game. A lot of superlatives went into that, to that game because the prevailing thought last week for John Everett was they weren't going to compete against Kennedy, but they did for 48 minutes, and only one touchdown was scored in that game, guys. Only one, and that was
I
by
got a
Kennedy.
I got a question for both of y'all. Well, I don't have a question, but this is from Coach Johnson off Instagram, Showtime504. He said, "Has Eric ever lost to Riverdale?"
In my 45 years of living, no, they have never lost to Riverdale. Not since
Even
I
with the Stuart
remember.
Bot teams, I don't think they lost to them.
Nah,
Wow.
not this. Not with the not even with the Stuart Bot teams. Not even with the uh, uh, Brett Boniface teams. That was not bad at all. That was with Dante Jackson in them, and even with Willie Brooks, they did not beat Eric. I think at the time when Boniface and Brooks was coaching, I think they might have played Eric maybe one time, but it wasn't in the same district.
All right. We're going to end it there on John Ehret versus Riverdale. Everybody that's watching, whatever you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, hit that subscribe, hit those follow buttons. Um, Riverdale people, you don't have school on Thursday. You should travel to the West Bank and come to this game. John Ehret, you guys are right here. No excuse. All your people should show up to this game.
Well,
I
it's
want.
what they off from school Friday and Monday, fall break for Jefferson Parish.
Oh,
So
I don't care. You off Thursday.
yeah,
You all got your fall break for Friday and Monday. I don't care.
come on in.
Everybody show up to this game Thursday night, 6:30. You should all be there.
There you go.
Before we get out of here, let's go to a little college of what happened this weekend. Bunch of upset. Tennessee went down to Arkansas, but I think the main thing VK want to talk about is that Alabama losing to Vanderbilt. He want to throw it in Matt Moscona's face a little bit. But go ahead, VK. Talk about the little college just a little bit.
Yeah, we're talking a little college, man. What a crazy Saturday it was. Before I get to Vanderbilt, what a crazy Saturday overall. I mean, you expected the unexpected more than anything else. All these different upsets on Saturday. Arkansas. I mean, in basically, I think the 20th anniversary, or really almost close to 30. No, was it close to 30th anniversary of when Arkansas got their vengeance on Tennessee? Remember the hand of God play in Knoxville, and they lost that game. Arkansas had it, but that hand of God play when Kurt Stern fumbled the ball and Tennessee wound up getting it, won the game and stayed undefeated. The next year they played in Fayetteville, and Arkansas got their just revenge. So after that, 30 years later, it happens again in Fayetteville. So we look at that. We look at what Texas A&M did. We look at all these teams. I mean, this was one of the expected unexpected Saturdays. It was great. And in California, you need to learn how to close games. Cam Ward has made a move a little bit in the Heisman race, especially with that
You
comeback
you say
in
he's
that
made
fourth
a move.
quarter.
Still saying he's in the
Hey,
race.
I'm giving him props, bro. What he did
I
was
didn't say you didn't. I didn't say you didn't.
I knew he was good, but what he did in that second half was unbelievable because Cal didn't close, but for him to get them back to win that game was unbelievable. I stepped out the hotel room for a minute. I thought Cal had. I come back, it's like, you got to be kidding me. So, but besides all that, Alabama losing to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, man, I mean, sensational how they played. They played unbelievable and everything else. And I mean, they made big plays in every way. And some people, and Matt Moscoda's one, but another person, and I want you to get this, Mr. Boyd, and put this on Insta. I want you to put this everywhere right now. You know what I'm saying? This is where I'm gonna get some of you pundits out here. If you gonna be a sports broadcaster, you study every damn thing. Everything. That's what I do. Okay? Everything. So you look at the last 15 years of Vanderbilt football, and I count about, what is it, six, or what was it? One, let me make sure it's counted right. From
Thought you studied.
two, well, I did study. I did study. Why are you trying to rain on my parade?
I mean,
It is
you
what it
can't get you can't get this right. Go
is.
ahead.
I got it right. Don't worry about that. You know what I'm
Finally.
saying?
Finally got something right. Well, go ahead. Let me stop messing with you, bro.
Six bowl wins in the past 15 years, and also you include what winning like 2, 3 winning seasons. 3 different head coaches got things going and done. You know what I'm saying? Clark Lee trying to get it together. He's been up and down, but this year he's really doing a great job as a head coach. You look at it, they're 3-2 right now. The only bad loss was the Georgia State, even in a close ball game, but blew that one. They had Missouri dead, lose to them. Now they'll go out, they're going all out, and they close the deal against Bama. Congratulations. Georgia over the years had some big, huge victories on their mantra, including victories against Georgia, 2006 and 2016. If anybody remembers, that's what happened when you study. So plain and simple, and you look at Vanderbilt's schedule, they have a great chance of making a bowl game and possibly having a winning record. It's gonna be tough though down the line. They still got to go to Auburn, which they could beat. They still got to go to LSU, and and also they host the Tennessee Volunteers, which is now becoming a little bit vulnerable now, more than anything else. So big ups to Clark Lee, big ups to Vanderbilt, getting the job done. And like I said before, I said it again. If Vanderbilt might not have the best season or winning a title or whatever, I said this. They're going to spoil some seasons. And right now, I'm right. So it is what it is.
Whose season is spoiled? Whose season is spoiled so far?
I'm right now, Virginia Tech. Their
Vanderbilt did Vanderbilt beat Virginia Tech?
Huh? Yes, first game of the year.
Okay, where was Virginia Tech going?
37-27.
They weren't going nowhere. Nobody went to Virginia Tech. They can't beat nobody anyway.
Man, they should have beat Miami. They got freaking robbed. So that's all I can say about that.
I don't know, bro. I saw that play. I don't know. I'm still like, you gotta finish the play. You gotta finish the play, bro.
That's a catch,
you gotta finish the play. You gotta hold on to the end, bro.
But it is what it is with that. But regardless, they have a chance, bro.
We got you, VK. I got you,
bro.
I got you, bro.
Okay.
You had your 10-minute rant. Look, Alabama played horrible that game. They played bad, and I'm not taking nothing away from Vanderbilt. They were the better team that day. They were the better team that day, George. But they play 9 more times. They don't win that game.
They play 9 more times. Alabama wins by 30 each time.
Yes, I totally agree.
I mean,
totally agree.
Diego Pavia showed a lot of character in that game.
Let me go.
Go ahead, dude. Got you, baby.
And a lot of people kept coming at Kalen DeBoer's neck. I understand, but let's hit the brakes a little bit. We have a 12-team playoff. It's a 12-team playoff. The 4 highest conference ranked teams will automatically get into the playoffs. Alabama still has a shot to win the conference. They still got to take on LSU. LSU might get their first loss this weekend to Ole Miss. It's nothing to panic about yet. Yes, they lost. They lost to a team they shouldn't have lost to. Okay, move on. Let's be better going forward. I'm not stressing out about the loss. They did lose. I'm not stressing because we still got a long season. A lot can happen. Tennessee, the same thing. You control your own destiny still. Win out, beat the teams you got to beat. You can still be there. Not tripping about that yet. Let's just see what happens. Go ahead, George.
I mean, that was the flukest win of the weekend. You know, as you said, astutely point out, play this game 10 times, Alabama wins for fun, but it was the classic letdown. But what nobody wants to talk about is that Bama almost blew a 28-point lead, actually blew the lead against Georgia the week prior, and they needed a late rescue. Ryan Williams, who's a sensational freshman, made a big play. The very next week, I'll say this: Malachi Moore needs a foot in his rear end for that temper tantrum he threw the other day. Not wanting to be subbed out, throwing and kicking a chin strap or something. He did a lot of childish things late in that ball game the other day. It's on a video. It's on YouTube. And I don't know if they're spoiled or panic over everything. Some of them are talking about firing Kalen DeBoer. Man, get out of here. Dude's got 90% of win percentages in 4 stops. Stop it. The man can coach. His team wasn't prepared. He didn't have his team optimally prepared to win that football game. And then they were saying, well, Nick wouldn't have let that happen. No, Nick's the GOAT. There's a difference. Kalen DeBoer is not the GOAT. Nick Saban is. And Nick, I think, lit a fire in Vanderbilt when he said it's not an intimidating atmosphere. He's not wrong,
He's
but
not
it
wrong
lit
at
a fire.
all.
He lit a fire in him. And credit Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia for what he did. But we can't talk about Cam Ward and you two. What about the young man from Boise State? Already, Deontay Johnny, the running back. He's already cleared 1,000 in 5 games.
Already. Yes,
The
he
dude
has.
is sitting on a monster pace. Why not him? I don't know what showcase games they have the rest of the year. I don't have their schedule in front of me. And if there's a showcase game, Boise better win it. And Johnson better go off. Because I tell you what, that dude, he's got special on him. Cam Ward is plenty good, but they needed a 25-point collapse by Cal to even have a chance to win that game. And there were 2 calls late in that game that really favored Miami. There was an ineligible receiver downfield that they didn't call. There was a targeting call that should have been called, but it wasn't. And both would have gotten California home. It should have never came to that, but it did. California was 35-10 in the third quarter. They shouldn't have lost, but they did. And Miami, 2 weeks in a row, has been saved by the stripes. I
Oh,
know, Jared, you and I disagreed on the Virginia Tech play. I get it, but they were saved by the stripes. I don't know. Could that be a team of destiny, Miami? I'll say this. Clemson's starting to figure things out. I mean, they're starting to figure things out, defensively. Offensively, they're still a work in progress, but defensively, they're really starting to click. And yeah, who they beat? Oh, Free Shoes U. That's right, Florida State University. You know, from undefeated to the outhouse this year, Florida State. Sad story there. That's another story for another day. But you talk about the rash of upsets, the most inexcusable upset. Everybody says Bama. I give you that. But Tennessee, they had Arkansas down 14-3, and it looked like they were going to open things up. But they rested on their laurels. Arkansas, to their credit, stayed in it. Sam Pittman kept his team believing, and they got the job done. And the quarterback for Tennessee, Nico, I'm going to screw this name up so bad. Amalavea, I think. He showed me he ain't elite in that game against the substandard Arkansas defense. He showed me he wasn't that good. What does that mean going forward? I don't know. But the best team we've seen this year, the best matchup this week, let me jump to that, is Ohio State, Oregon at Austin. That's going to be a titanic showdown. But Texas is the best team I've seen this year. Top to bottom, they're deep, they're good, they're very good. And they get Oklahoma this weekend. And who'd have thought in the Red River shootout, Texas would lay 17 points? Go figure. Go figure. That's the
well,
spread. They are 17-point favorites.
we will see.
And and
Um, Ladies
and
and gentlemen.
I'm gonna say this right quick before you
No, you're
close.
not. I'm about to say what I gotta say. You can wait. You can
I'll
wait
wait.
one
I'll wait.
second. Yeah, I'll
I'll
let you
wait.
know.
I'll wait.
But ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say this before I forget. The Hash It Out Show game of the week this Friday night is between the Hornville Tigers and the Thibodeau Tigers. We will be in Thibodeau this Friday night. You can catch the stream on the JB the Sports Guy YouTube page. Pregame at 6:30, kickoff at 7 o'clock. Now, VK.
Yes, yes, yes. Like I mentioned, you know what I'm saying? Like you say about Bama and Tennessee and everything else. Remember this? Things could get spoiled. Here's the thing. Things are stacking against Bama. Remember, Bama has to play LSU in Baton Rouge. Bama still has
Why
to
you gotta
play.
point your finger at people, man? When you trying to threaten
I'm
all the
pointing because
audience?
I'm
No,
pointing.
stop pointing your finger. You ain't threatening nobody.
I'm not threatening people. Stop doing that. I'm not
No, you
threatening
stop. That's what people. When you point your finger at people, that's what it
you.
is.
You're thinking
Yes.
I'm threatening? Oh my God, it's political correct stuff. This is
When
crazy.
somebody points, George, point your finger in his face. He
You
gonna
mean like
he gonna
that?
react differently.
You think
Yeah,
I'm
in his
about
face
to?
when
Yeah.
you see him Thursday, he gonna react differently.
I know how to control my emotions. Thank you very much. I'm saying like this.
Get that Chalmette coat for you.
Bama still has they still have the stack against them. All right, they still have to play Tennessee. They still have to play LSU on the schedule, and
Mm-hmm.
also Tennessee Alabama could be an elimination game with their one loss. Then on top of that, guess what happens if Tennessee loses or Tennessee wins? Guess who might spoil their season at the end? Vandy at Vandy. So put a fork in that one. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah, we'll see when that time comes. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We just mentioned the Hash It Out Show game of the week. This Friday night, Harville and Thibodeau. Um, Tomorrow night we are back at 7:30. Our special guest tomorrow is the one, the only Chad Jones. Chad Jones played football at LSU, got a national championship on the football team, and also was a pitcher for LSU. And he has a national championship with them also. So Chad Jones will join us tomorrow night at 7:30. After Chad Jones, we'll quickly say our top five, and then we'll get right into our picks. Last words, VK.
Oh man, this was a really good show tonight. It's good to
Yeah,
have the two coaches, Coach Dizer and Coach Foster. And we thank all of y'all for continuing to support this show and everything, man. We're gonna continue this momentum all the way to Friday or possibly Thursday. We'll tell you tomorrow for sure.
yeah,
George, we gave you a reason why to just chill, hold the brakes, because we
yes.
working on something. So that's just what it is. But at the same time, hey, I just love what we do. I just love what we do. I just love our team, regardless of the fact that sometimes we better at each other's throats, but it's for fun. It's just for
All the
fun,
time,
ladies and gentlemen.
all the time. We don't
So
take it. We don't take it seriously.
no,
Trust me.
we don't take it serious. We have families, so we don't have time to be stressed out and go to the hospital. But hey, good show tonight.
Definitely. GP.
It's always a fun night. Two
Yeah.
nights when we can congregate together and do this and espouse what we do. That is in some instances therapeutic because we all live daily lives and things happen. What is that phrase, VK? Life is life, and
Life is
I
life.
think we were all saying that. Sometimes we need something like this. So, and this week, like I said, it's going to be hard because that monster of a hurricane is headed to where my family, I have relatives, and that they're in the dead bullseye right there. They're dead on. So, yeah, I'm stressing. But you know what? I'm here tonight, and we had a great time. And whatever happens Thursday, you know, all I know is I ain't saying nothing until after the fact. That's all I'm gonna say. To all the ones that are beating their gums right now about Riverdale and this and that, I'll say nothing. Nothing. But let 48 minutes pass and y'all lose. In the words of Jared J.B. Boyd a couple of years ago, I'm going to talk loud and
Yeah.
clear. I'm bringing a megaphone. I'll get the one from I'll get the megaphone from Rummel that y'all gave to him this year
Oh,
and
you had
use
to
it.
go there, huh? You had to go there, huh? You had to go there, huh? You
Oh,
had to go
shots,
there. Go
shots.
ahead.
Hey, what do we say? All
Finish.
in fun. Don't get
Yeah.
hurt, sir. Don't get hurt.
Yeah,
Well, I already spoke with them. I'm just messing around. I said I
I
already
know. I
talked with
know,
the
bro.
Rumble staff. I'm kidding. But it's going to be an entertaining week. We got picks tomorrow night. I'd have won the picks last week if Og would have beat Carr and 35 would have lost to EJ. I was in front by one game over
What
you,
was your
Mr. Boyd.
What was your record?
And
What was your record for last week?
I didn't tally it up. I just know I lost by one to you.
I went
I
20
mean,
and
I
10.
have the paper.
I went
Huh?
20 and 10.
Yeah, I'm one game behind you. I went 19 and 11.
What did
So
VK? What did VK do?
0 and 30. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I know he finished third because he took some chances. He rode. He had a few chances he took, and they didn't. They went belly up on him. It's sort of like his same games. Just kidding. Um, All right, I'm being messy now. All
Them
right.
same games are a little more critical than that, but it is what it is. Go
That they
ahead.
are. That they are, because there's a lot of lettuce that can be won there, surely. Surely. But we'll be with you tomorrow night. And look, the optimum goal is to have the highest win percentage for all three of us at the end of the regular season and into the playoffs. And the end game is to not go a combined. What did we go? 2-6, 2-6, 1-7. That's 4-19
Yeah.
between the
We
three
haven't
of us.
lost it.
Man, we racked up. We look like, oh my god, we stunk. That is something the three of us are going to rectify this year. That to me, I mean, yeah, you could win. Oh, really? All right, cheese, I hear you. Why you don't put picks up then? You talking all that noise. Why don't you throw some picks up? Oh, wait. Keyboard warrior? Come on now.
Austin
No,
Taylor
not
is
cheese, man. Not cheese, a
Au-
keyboard
Au-
warrior. He
I'm
clowning with
hitting
you,
on
George.
cheese.
He
Yeah.
clowning with you.
I
Austin
know he's
Tyler.
clowning. I could clown back, though. It works
Yes, you
two
can.
ways.
Austin Tyler's been
Yeah,
the only one has
The only
been
one that's sitting
I
picks.
know.
sending picks. Mr.
Yeah,
Austin Tyler, you earned your way to being
that
on
he
the Hash
did.
House show. So you can talk all you want to.
He could do that. It's a free
Yes,
country.
you can. Yes, you can.
But again, thoughts and prayers to those in Tampa, St. Pete, and all of Florida as they go through this potentially devastating storm. 180, I think, is the miles, the wind speed now. So you're looking at a catastrophic life changer. Um, and of course, you got the baseball playoffs right now. San Diego and the Dodgers playing Game 3. And all right, geez, are you gonna be on under the lights, or are you
Yeah, I
just
think
gonna send your picks
I think
in?
he's gonna be on there because they do it live. So I
Oh,
think he's
But I
gonna be
tell you
on
what,
there.
Jordan is making. I mean, Mr. Gary Swallow is doing some work this year. He's got a nice lead on their pick list. I don't know if you saw the stats, but they're all like chasing that dude, and it's like
They
they
are
ain't no
chasing
catch
him.
that man.
Yep, they
wow.
chasing him.
Yeah, he's got like a 12-win lead or something like
Good
that. Jordan's second.
Lord.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
is.
yeah.
He is rolling, dude.
Yep.
But they pick
All
80
right,
games
Mr.
a week,
Gary.
so
All right.
They pick a lot of games, a lot more than we
they
pick.
do.
All right, Mr. Gary. Wow.
Yep.
And he's putting that work in.
Yep. All right, everybody. That will be it for tonight's show. We are back tomorrow at 7:30. So tell all your friends, everybody watching right now, come back at 7:30. Join us again. Tell your friends, tell your family, and we're picking the winners of the games we have tomorrow. That we have a list of games, so we're gonna pick the winners of those games. So make sure you all please come back here at 7:30 tomorrow. Please tune in with us here on the Hash It Out Show for George Peppis, for VK Jones. I am JB the Sports Guy. We're back tomorrow at 7:30 with Chad Jones. Thank you to Coach Foster. Thank you to Coach Dizer for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the Hash It Out Show at 7:30 p.m.
Head coach of the Hornville Tigers boys basketball team, and you are watching the Hash It Out Show.
I'm Lisa Hiller from Ponchatoula Lady Wave, and you're watching the Hash Out Show.
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out Show. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.